Today, we're starting off the day with some scrambled eggs with onions and bell peppers. And I decided to make this kind of vanilla shake with some strawberries, some blueberries, and some bananas, and the protein powder. And honestly, this has just been amazing, just keeping me like healthy and staying like fit. I just did my weigh-in today. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to show you guys, but it's been pretty tight. I am now at 147.4. It'll focus. Yeah, so 147.4 has been pretty good. I'm at 14.6% body fat, so I'm just kind of trying to just stay lean and everything, just because this is good for like not only your body but for your mind too, to like really like stay fit and to stay like healthy. Because then if you don't do that, then you can't do the things that you want to do because you're not feeling enough energy. You're not going to be like really equipped to do it, and you just be less motivated with less energy. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about why you should probably get a condo if you're a first-time home buyer, because I'm a home buyer myself. Well, first time for that is. The thing is that when it comes to this, before I get into what I love about it, let me get into what I don't love about it first, because these are some things to keep in mind, like, immediately. The first thing is that the difference between a condo and a house is that first thing when it comes to a condo is that you are going to have less privacy. So instead of a house where you're kind of like your own like little unit, when you're a condo you kind of share units with other people, so naturally you're going to have like neighbors that you're going to talk to a lot more than just regular like houses, and so that's something to keep in mind. So you're definitely going to have more communication when your neighbors are going to see you more, and because of that reason you're probably going to have more noise. This is also because all these condos are HOAs, and so you're going to have a lot of these people who are doing their leaf blowers where they're blowing all around, and if you're trying to make a video like this, and sometimes they're making noise in the background. So you're going to have a lot of that. And also more people, because they're closer, you're going to hear them talk and everything, so it's going to be less privacy. It kind of depends on like the structure of it. Sometimes you get amazing neighbors, you don't hear anything. And also it kind of depends on the infrastructure of the actual condo itself, and I'll get into that in just a second actually, or at least later in the video. And the last thing is that you're definitely going to have higher HOA fees because of this fact, because you're going to have people working on the yard. Because you don't have a front yard or a backyard, which again I'll get to in a second. It's just that because of the fact that there is like sort of the common community, you're going to have a lot of people that are coming in, they're fixing up the place, making sure everything looks nice and everything is neat, and then it keeps its value, which is good because it's good for you as well, especially if you go ahead and sell your condo later on. Is nice to be able to keep that value, and you don't have to be really a part of it. That's going to be for them. You just have to pay a higher HOA, so it's kind of like a disadvantage but also kind of an advantage depending on how you want to look at it. I'm going to get into this. I'm super hungry, and then we'll get on to the things that I love about it. Starting with number one, which is this is the easiest to get into.
A few moments later.
So the reason why it's so easier to actually get into a condo than an actual house is because, first off, the utilities is a lot less. I know that I just talked about how when it comes to condos you do have higher HOA fees, and you may even have condo fees depending on the condo you have. You do have way lower cost utilities. So right now it's cold now, so I get to wear my hoodie and everything, but especially here in Las Vegas during the summertime, you can rack up some money when it comes to that energy bill because of your AC system. And so if you're somebody where you are living in Las Vegas, it's something to keep in mind because you are going to be using that quite a bit, and so you're going to have a higher energy bill if you have more space around you. Now the less space you have, the less it's going to cost, and so if you're having a condo, which is going to be like less than probably 1,000 square feet. Again, that totally depends on what you are, but I'm a little bit less than 1,000 square feet, and I therefore pay less than if I were to have an actual single-family residential that's maybe 1,500 square feet. You also have to pay less insurance because of that fact as well. And so again, less space, and so there's less cost for the insurance because you're insuring less property. So single-family residentials here in Las Vegas area, the median price for that right now is $450,000, whereas for condos and townhouse units right now they're at $270,000. And so as you can see, it's like significantly less by like $200K, and so it's a lot easier to get started in one, especially if you're a first-time home buyer like me, where you don't have a whole lot of money yet. And so therefore you're gonna have a lower down payment, you're gonna have lower closing costs, you're gonna have lower earnest money, so it's less money you have to put forward. And as a 23-year-old, I mean, depending on how far you really got, I mean, the jobs are not really like super high for what the age we are, or even if you're in sales like me, it can be a bit difficult. And so this way you can actually get into it, and I was able to secure this, and I'm still like comfortable, like I'm still okay. And so it's something to consider, that if you're not really have a whole lot of money and just want to get into a place so you can start building equity, because later on down the line you can then sell it, but then you can actually like get into this and start building the equity. instead of having to like wait so long to finally get into a property and then build equity little by little versus getting started like right now. So I actually have quite a bit of things to do today, and so I'm gonna actually start getting ready and start showering and everything. But then I'm gonna get on to the next step, what kind of goes hand in hand with this, because there's lower cost, because there's lower square footage. And so if you're somebody that you're single, or let's say you have another partner with you, but you don't have any kids or any pets, a great advantage of this is you actually have less square footage, which may seem like a bad thing, but it's actually not. So yeah, a really big thing to also keep in mind is the fact that you do not have a whole lot of square footage, which actually is a good thing. And here's the reason why. Because see, when you actually have like a full-on house and you have like 1,500 to 2,000 to almost 3,000 square feet, it's a lot of cleaning. And unless you actually been in a place that is big, you have to like clean up everything, or the HOA is hassling you all the time, telling you need to like trim the bushes, you need to pick out the weeds, it's a mess. And I've experienced this firsthand, especially when I was in my rental property and I actually, well, I was renting it out, but then I was also doing Airbnb, and I'll link that video up there so I can explain to you actually how I did that, and I was living rent-free basically. But the thing is that when you actually have a condo and you have less square footage, there's a lot less cleaning I have to worry about, and just a lot of less like maintenance I have to do when I'm painting the walls. Like I painted the blue walls in my room, and I fixed a lot of things that were in here, and I kind of swapped things out. There's not a whole lot of that you need to do. So when it comes to renovations, buying furniture, it's a lot less. And especially if you're somebody like me where you're single, or if you're with a partner but you don't have any kids and you don't have any pets, and on top of that you're a minimalist like me, you don't need all that space. And so you're gonna realize that, especially if like you start cleaning up and you're actually tidy with your things and you're organized, you're gonna realize that you actually don't need as much square footage as you think you may need. Now, of course, the cool thing about having a condo is that when you buy this as your first property, especially as a first-time home buyer like me, this is gonna be something that you can either like take and then you can then sell it, or you can keep it and make it a rental property, which I think is something really cool, which is kind of what I wanna do, make it a rental property. But I think, again, things change, and maybe I wanna keep it, make it a rental property and sell it down the line, or maybe I might sell it because I need the money. It really just depends on your situation and what like is best for you. But understand that your life is continually changing, and so yeah, when you do decide to have a family, or you do decide to have pets and you want to give it a backyard, yeah, go for the house, like save up the money and go for it. But if you don't need to right now, if you're young like me, or if you're going to college and you don't need a whole lot of space and you're kind of building up to it, well then have this place now, build the equity, get some money in your pocket, and then go ahead and sell it, cash out refinance, or then make it a rental property, whatever it may be, but at least you have somewhere to start instead of having to make this huge goal, which may feel like forever into the future and may feel like it's unattainable. Whereas when you realize that things are more attainable than you think they are, it's a lot easier and a lot less stress on you.
Later.
Alright, so I'm headed over to the office right now. Got some stuff I gotta do today, just some like general paperwork in the background kind of stuff, and some content making. But one thing that I also wanted to leave off on this video, because I think it's super important too, is the fact that not every condo is like built the same. Like a condo just essentially means that you are a part owner of the entire building, right? That building can be like in different forms. Now there's like high rises, there's ones in residential areas that look like general, like generic apartments. So you see have like the upstairs neighbor, the downstairs neighbor, and then you have mine, which I love the most because I actually have a balcony, and then on the bottom of me, I actually don't have another downstairs neighbor, I have a garage. And so even though in the beginning of the video I mentioned that noise was a big thing, I don't have to deal with nearly as much noise because of the infrastructure of the condo that I have. And so it's something that I really think you should keep in mind, because not every condo is built the same. And so you should keep in mind with that, because that way you can start to think that, okay, so there's different types of condos, so you're not restricted to just one type. Because a lot of people don't like want to have like an upstairs, downstairs neighbors. Not to say that there's too many of the ones that I have, but it's out there, you know, there's options out there. And maybe you might have to trade one for a different area. Maybe you don't like the area, but you love the way it looks, or you love the way it's structured. Like there's so many different like little details that go into this, and that's why I always say that it depends on what you essentially want and what you're looking for. But I do think that this is something that's super important, because this is something that was really important to me, because I really wanted to have like that nice balcony. I love the balcony. And I love that I don't have a downstairs neighbor. I like that it's my garage. And I like the fact that I don't have to have somebody who's hearing my footsteps when I'm like walking around the place, and vice versa. And I also didn't want a high rise because honestly those HOA fees are so ridiculously high, and the cost of those things are so ridiculous. I mean, like, it's really hard to get a return on your investment when it comes to those. That's a personal take, dude. I mean, like, invest however you want to invest. I'm just saying that, like, I don't love high rises, especially for the location of it. I mean, I'm not going to get into it. But just know that there's different types, and so there's options out there. That's the biggest takeaway I want you to know, is that there's options out there. You just have to look for it, and it kind of depends on the market too sometimes, but I really hope that all that made sense and you got some value out of this video, and maybe you might consider getting a condo for your first property, or maybe you want to downsize. Maybe you have a house and you want to see the pros and cons of having a condo, and you want to like go to a smaller place. But either way, if you got some value out of this video, definitely give me a like down below. I'd really appreciate it, or a dislike down below. Doesn't really matter to me, just engage with it. And leave a comment down below. What are your thoughts on condos? Or do you prefer townhouse units? Or do you want me to make a video about the comparisons on house versus condo, or townhouse versus condo, or all three versus each other? Let me know what your thoughts are. I love to hear it. Oh yeah, and before I forget, hi, my name is Angel Basilio. I'm a realtor here in Las Vegas, for those of you who don't know or are new to the channel. If you are into getting tips about real estate, or just like investing in real estate or anything like that in general, definitely hit that subscribe button down below, because I'm making more content and videos about this. And if you need help buying a home, or if you need help selling your house, definitely let me know, because this is my passion. This is what I love to do. But anyways, I'm gonna get going. Thank you very much for checking out the video, and I'll see you on the next one.